Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's tutorial will be on how to make this beautiful shirt. Length of my shirt. Okay, so the full length of my shirt is 27. I'll be adding extra 2 inches to it, making it 29. So this is my start point. I'm going to make a row across. Alright. Then the next thing I'll be inserting is my shoulder measurements for my start point. Okay. Then there also I'm going to mark 3 inches. This is my neck width. Coming to where I marked my shoulder measurements, I'll mark 1 inch for shoulder slope, then connect it to my 3 inches I've marked already. Alright. Then from here, I'm going to mark 8 inches, which is my shoulder measurements. I'm trying to form my armhole curve, and I'll divide what I have into 2. At that point, I'll be coming in by half an inch inward. Okay, then I'll create my curve. So this is what I have. Okay, then the next thing I'll be doing here is to insert my bust measurement. So my bust measurement is 9 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance. I also mark the same thing here. Now at this point, I'm not working, it's a free shirt. I'm not working with my hip measurements, my waist measurements. It's just going to be free all the way down. Then for the neck depth, I'll be marking 2 inches because this is going to be serving for my back piece. Okay, then I'll go ahead and cut this out. So this is what I have. So for the second part, which is going to be the front piece of the shirt, what I did was to place my back piece 3 inches away from the start point. All right, so from here to here is 3 inches, 3 inches away from the start point. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting it out, I'll notch the center. I also notch the center here. Then I'm going to trim out my back neckline. So this is what my back neckline looks like. The next thing I'm going to do is I'll keep the back aside, then picking up my front piece. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it in a little, then fold it again to match up with where I notched. This is my button allowance. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Then I'll go ahead and run a stitch on it, after which I'll fold the end. This part of it, I'll also fold it. All right, so this one I'll be cutting now is the sleeve. So there is a 3/4 sleeve. So I'm working with 18 inches plus 2 inches, making it 20 inches. That's going to be the length of my sleeve. Then from here to 4 inches, I'm going to mark my calf line. Then I'll insert quarter of my bust measurement, which is 9 plus 2 inches. Then I'm going to make my curve to this point. All right, then coming to this area, I'm going to impute whatever I have here. Looking closely at that one is not tight, is a little bit free, so I have 5.5, and I'm going to be attaching my seam allowance to it. Then I'm going to connect it using connect the two of them. So I'll go ahead and notch the center, then use this to cut out another piece. So for my pockets now, I'm working with 9 inches. That's the length of my pocket is going to be 9 inches, and the width is going to be 10 inches, or 9 by 9. I'm going to be working by 9 by 9 inches. Both sides is going to be 9 inches. So I'll be cutting 2 of this. Alright, then the next thing I'm going to cut is, because it's going to be on the fold, both sides. Then I'm going to also cut out another one that is going to be at the center. So this is the front of my shirt. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to mark out the depth of the neck. So I'm working with 3 inches depth deep. Then for the width remains 3 inches. I started from here to here, 3 inches. Then I'll make my curve, C curve, and cut it out. Okay. The next thing I'll be working on is the pockets that will be in front on this bust area. Alright, so what I'm going to mark is from the shoulder points, I'm going to be marking to my under bust, or to my nipple bust line, which is at 10 inches. That's the nipple points. So this is where my pockets will be. That's where I'm going to be placing my pockets. Alright, so this is my pocket now. This is what I'm working with for my pocket. So what I'm going to go over to the machine and do is I'm going to run a top stitch on it, like fold it in a little, and top stitch on it. Alright, after which, like this one now I've top stitched on it. I'm going to fold it in wet this way, fold it, run a stitch on it on top of my shirt. So I'm done with the pockets, and this is what I have, the first layer of the pockets. Alright, the next thing is the cover, the one that is going to cover it here. So I went ahead to cut out this piece. Okay, so let's check how many inches broad it is. On a fold is almost 2 inches broad. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to run a stitch here, close this up, close this area up. Alright, then I'll turn it out, then show you what next. So after turning it, this is it. After running a stitch on it, I have to turn it out this way. Alright, so if you have a weaving machine, you can go ahead and weave it. If you don't, you trim it properly. Maybe use a lighter to cover up these rough edges, or you can use a zigzag scissors. Okay, so now this is my shirt. What I have to do now is I'm going to be placing this very close to, I think this is still a little bit big. So I'm going to be placing it, let me say an inch, let me say a quarter inch away from the start point of my shirt pocket here. I'm going to run a stitch on it, okay? So after sewing it, this is what I have. This is what, after running the first stitch inside, I decided to make a top stitch on it. You can also decide to maybe top stitch on this cover. You can decide to run a top stitch on it. It totally works, okay? So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I will go over and join my shoulders together and attach my sleeve. So after putting my sleeve, the next thing I went ahead to do is to mark my shaping line. I'm going to mark my shaping line and run a stitch on it. Alright? Yeah. So I have 9 as my pulse. Just mark your shaping line. So I'll go ahead and stitch on it. What I have, this is what the shirt looks like. My next tutorial will be on how to make the collar.